Family Groove has been out for more than a year. So what's new? Is there a new project in the works? What's going on with you guys at the moment?
Yes, there is a new project, as a matter of fact, while we're on tour this summer. And the tour that we did in the fall as well, that just finished, that we did the fall and early this year. We've been recording live on the tour, and that's the plan for the next album, to make an album with songs recorded in the different places on these tours. So as we tour now in the summer, we're going to still be recording, so some of the things we record now in different cities will maybe go on the album.
So are these going to be new songs? Is this going to be a collection or what?
Some new, and if there's any of the old things, that we get some really great performances of, maybe some of the older stuff too. But we've got new material too.
All right, what's that like? What's the new stuff like?
It's like different things. Some of it is like kind of jazzy, some of it is really funk, some is kind of Africanish, and some is pop.
What you guys have been doing all along?
Yeah.
Well, so tell me about the songwriting. Is there the characteristic, like social comment, that kind of thing?
Yeah, there's some songs like that, some love songs, but mostly it's songs about the condition of the world now and the attitudes of people toward the world and toward each other.
Do you think your songs make an impact on the problems of the world?
I think they make an impact on people's awareness of the problems and their awareness of the fact that we can all think about them and try to contribute to the whatever extent we can to making things better. That's basically the message we try to get across, that you don't have to be the president or the chief justice in the Supreme Court to do something. Or you don't have to be the Red Cross. You can, as an individual, there's something that you can do. But first, you got to be aware of the fact that there's a problem and want to do something.
So this is more like person to person, human to human, than political, I guess.
Yes, definitely not political. It's more just social.
How do you see the state of the world as it is? Do you feel there's improvement?
Improvement? Well, yeah, there's both. There's improvement and there's things getting worse. The great improvement is that finally more people are aware of the ecological damage that's been done, and the fact that something needs to be done to try to correct and make things better. And also it seems that in different parts of the world too, people are becoming more willing to step across boundaries that they have imposed on themselves, that, well, this is my group and I communicate with the people of my group, and people outside of this group I don't communicate with. It seems like that's changing too. In some areas and in areas it's changing more the other way as well. There's some people deciding, well, I only want to be with people of my group, and I think any other group is bad.
Yeah, like out there in Eastern Europe.
Yeah. And this thing that's happening again in Germany with those kids trying to revive that shit. And like here too, like here there's big change in the right direction, and then there's people who are trying to hold on to and reignite the old hatreds and fears.
What do you think? Do you think that is just constantly balanced out through the years? Do you think there'll be, improvements so that we can all rest easier?
Well, it seems that the way that works is that from times that the balance shifts, it goes around from one period where there's more weight on the positive side, so things are more like that in the world, and then another then it goes back to being more weight on the negative side, so then there's more of the hatred and fear. So it keeps going around, and hopefully it's gradually getting to a point where it's going to be able to stay more toward the positive.
Yeah, well, let's hope so.
Yeah.
That's part of music's job, isn't it, to inspire people towards the positive?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's really what we try to do.
Well, tell me about that. Once, of course, one way to get people stoked up is to get them dancing. And you've got all these songs that have to do with social comment, that kind of thing, but then you mix it with dance grooves. Is that a conscious effort for you guys, or is that just natural?
Well, both. And also, like, music and dance are like a form of the spiritual expression as well. the what do we call them, religious ceremonies around the world involve music and dance as ways of expressing awareness of and connection with the Great Spirit, and with expressing the joy of life and of spiritual connection. Also, at most of the concerts, there's people. We look out in the audience, we see Native Americans, we see Asians, we see white Americans, black Americans, Europeans, poor people, young people, old people, rich people, and that they can all groove together with this music and sharing this same thing together is really like an illustration of what the message is. You know, like last year when the riots were happening in L.A., right? It was Jazz Fest here in New Orleans, and we were playing at the fairground, and there were people from all over the world here. You know, lots of people, you know, gathered there at the fairground while thousands of people were burning and looting and destroying and killing each other in California and in other places in the country as well. Here in New Orleans, there were people with all kinds of ethnic and social and cultural differences together here in love and joy and the spirit of brotherhood. And that's, I think the music really was a good vehicle for helping that to happen.
Now, of course, you guys have spent a lot of time in clubs, and of course you've been on the concert stage for a long time. What's the difference between playing for the two? Must be different projecting off of those big concert stages. Is there a whole different mindset for you when you get on like a concert stage as opposed to a club?
No. It's pretty much the same. The only difference is that there's more people. And in the club setting, the people can get closer. But the sharing of the energy is the same no matter how many people there are.
You feel when there's, I don't know, 20,000 people out there, you're still connecting?
Yeah. Yeah, because and when the places are that big, you know, and we talk to people after gigs, and people tell us, well, I was way back up on the grass, man, but that's where I could really dance, jam, and have a good time. It was really great. I could hear well. And then there's people who are right down front who say, well, I sat there, I didn't dance, I really enjoyed everything, I could see everything, and it was really good.
So how do you guys make your decisions when you get around to a recording project? Is there a democratic system?
Yeah, there is. Because basically what's chosen is something that someone likes. You know, because people have asked me about, you know, Yellow Moon, how did we choose to cover certain songs? You know, we covered the songs because Daniel asked, is there some song that you really would like to sing? Oh, yeah, these Bob Dylan songs that I've really loved and I like singing. I'd like to record. I've always wanted to record them, so we did them. And yeah, so it's still like that. Like everybody brings in songs. You know, we all write. And some things we write together, and then we write things separately and bring them in and say, well, I want to do this one. Mm-hmm. And we play them and start playing them on the gigs, and then when it's time to record, we record them.
So you road test everything beforehand?
Well, some things are always written right there at the session. But
you pretty much have a group mind about what's going every step of the way?
Yeah, if it feels good, then it's all right.
Now, you guys are getting various offsprings involved. Is there an idea for maybe making a Neville family rather than the Neville Brothers?
Yeah, we've really been talking about trying to do a concert like that and maybe do a TV special like that that would feature the Neville Brothers, Charmaine, Deaf Generation, and individual things that the kids in Deaf Generation do.
Tell me about that. I don't know about that.
Well, that's a group that is two of Cyril's sons, two of Aaron's sons, and one of my grandsons in this group. And they've got like a traditional New Orleans jazz brass band, but they play what they call New Orleans funk second line rap. So they play like music in the tradition of the New Orleans brass band, but they've incorporated the sounds of their generation in with it.
On the Family Groove liner notes, there's a comment about New Orleans being the birthplace of American music. You've traveled far and wide. How unique is New Orleans in terms of music?
Well, New Orleans is the place where music is still approached from the point of view of love and sharing emotional and spiritual energy rather than music as a business. many New Orleans artists who are really great performers, and some of them have had hit records, but they've never left New Orleans, and they never will. And they've still got day jobs, and they're not trying to make music their career. They want to, like, and that's basically the approach to music here, that music is something to do for joy and to express the spiritual and emotional energy that each of us has. And I think that's the main thing that makes New Orleans music unique, because in terms of style, you know, New Orleans music is Fats Domino, Louis Armstrong, Wynton Marsalis, Walter Wolfman Washington, Huey Piano Smith, Professor Longhair, Dr. John, the Neville Brothers, the Dirty Dozen Brass Band, the Olympia Brass Band, you know, and there's Latin bands and Irish bands and bands that play just about every kind of music here. So there is no one sound. That's the New Orleans sound. But all of the music, and you know, a lot of the records that influenced all of the music that's happening now were recorded here. The combining of the African rhythms with the European influences and influences of other cultures happened here in New Orleans in Congo Square, you know, during the days of slavery before anywhere else. That's what the music that was called jazz kind of grew out of that. And, you know, the blues, rhythm, blues, rock and roll, and all that stuff grew out of the same dynamic.
So, a big mixture. But what you're saying, what I hear you saying, is that it's more of an attitude towards music than, I guess, the music itself. Huh?
Right.
What's the challenge for the future? Which way are the Neville Brothers going to go? After so many years of making music, what keeps you interested? What keeps you moving forward?
Well, music is what we do, and it's like the ability to make the music is a gift that we've been blessed with, and sharing the music and sharing the energy that the music is able to generate with as many people as possible seems to be what part of our purpose in life is. And it's really, for us, it's really the most satisfying and most gratifying thing that we can do. It's something that we have that is really an expression of ourselves that we can share, that we can truly share with other people. And in the process of sharing it, bring joy and hopefully some spiritual upliftment.
Does it bring you up?
It definitely does.
And the other guys, you think?
Yeah, like, because the experience of doing a concert and sharing this energy with an audience, we send out our energy. It cycles around through the audience, and then their energy comes back up to us, and then it's continually circling around between us and the audience. And it's really an emotional and spiritual thrill to do that, to feel that, to actually be involved in that experience.